Since the formation of the One Kenya Alliance that brings together KANU, Ford Kenya, Wiper and Amani National Congress with an ambition to work together ahead of the 2022 polls, there have been reports of a scheme by a faceless group of state operatives to isolate Deputy President William Ruto and ODM party leader Raila Odinga. This has in turn fueled debate over the viability of a Ruto-Odinga alliance to face off with the One Kenya Alliance. During an interview with Radio Citizen, the deputy president removed all doubt.
Mtu yeyote kama ako tayari kushirikiana na sisi katika harakati hii ya kufukuza umaskini na kufukuza ukosefu wa kazi kupitia kwa mpango huu ambao tuko nao, the new economic model ya Kenya, kila mtu anakaribishwa kwa sababu nia yetu ni kuunganisha wa Kenya.
While hailing the former prime minister for his calls for a national party, the deputy president claimed that only himself and Odinga have national party ideologies.
Watu wengi wanaona ya kwamba niko na tofauti ya kimawazo na former prime ministers. Haya ni tofauti ya kisiasa. Lakini mahali ninakubaliana na former prime minister, yeye kama vile mimi tunaamini katika chama ya kitaifa. Wale ambao hatuwezi kukubaliana na wao ni wale wanataka kuturudisha katika vyama vya kikabila. Ati twende tuanzishe chama ya kona, tuwe na chama hii, alafu tufanye muungano wa makabila. Hapana, sisi hatuko pale.
Ruto is facing a pending ouster as the Jubilee deputy party leader, and he revealed that he was already warming up to formally join the UDA party, popularize it and make it a national party and a political vehicle to use come 2022.
Ikifika hapa mbele na kusiwe na vile ya kuelewana, basi tutachipanga na chama ya UDA, kwa sababu ni chama tunajua, tumeijenga pamoja kama wana ikiwa na ushirikiano na Jubilee, na tumeendesha sera ya serikali pamoja na chama ya UDA.
UDA proponents have already finalized the making of the UDA party constitution, and with copies being distributed to members. This as UDA unveiled Teresa Bititu Oro to fly the UDA flag in the forthcoming Bonchari parliamentary by-election.
Tutazidi na kujadiliana na kuzungumza pamoja kama wa Kenya, bila mashurutisho, bila ya kusukumana. Kenya ni yetu sisi wote, na mwisho wa Kenya ndio wataamua vile tutaenda pamoja.
The UDA candidate will now square it out with Jubilee's candidate Zedekia Opore, ODM candidate Pavel Omieke, and the United Green Movement candidate and former Kisii women rep Mary Salikera. Chris Dairo, KTN News.
Thanks, Chris. So in politics, we have that, the various by-elections coming up. That's where we'll be seeing the political battles play out. Let me begin with you, Javas. We are seeing two main sides coming up ahead of 2022. We are seeing the One Kenya Alliance, the Sacred Alliance. I don't know which name they are using, but that alliance. And then we are seeing chatter of a possible coalition between the DP and the former Prime Minister. What's your take on this?
Well, I think I must not be shy to state that these possible formations and alliances are primarily being driven by esoteric political interests. That is what will potentially drive William Ruto and Raila Odinga to come together. That is what has led to the formation of this other platform, that is the One Kenya Alliance, and others that may emerge. I will not put it past possibility that once the Raila Ruto political alliance takes shape, if it will, it may also potentially lead to a split of the One Kenya Alliance.
Right.
Some people may not be very comfortable in the cold there if they see the possibility of success on this other side, and they will have to cross the river and join the side of Ruto and Raila Odinga.
How do you figure? Who would that be in these other
Now,
parties?
first of all, it drives a death knell on the talk about NASA, and remember the initial discussions that Raila Odinga should cede the flag-bearing position or opportunity to the others. But the entry of Honorable Gideon Moi to that One Kenya Alliance also necessitates a renegotiation of that entire arrangement, if at all NASA has to hold. And Raila Odinga would want to insist that now there's renegotiation because this other entrant was not an initial party or partner of NASA.
Yeah.
But now it's a new alliance, that is the One Kenya Alliance. Now, the other thing is this. I know, for instance, that somebody like Musalia Mudavadi may, and even Kalonzo Musyoka, may not want to continue being in the cold if at all they see that the potentiality of success on the side of Raila Ruto is so imminent in terms of seizing power. The other thing is this, that looking at the manner in which the arithmetics may play out, taking the voting blocks and the regionalism, etc., bringing together, I know for a fact that Raila and Ruto may not want to stick together, just the two of them alone, even though both of them bring so much of political energy and influence across the country. And so that union, the potentiality of that union splitting One Kenya Alliance is so imminent that One Kenya Alliance on itself, left on its own devices, as it is, without certain critical factors that personally I appreciate, may not deny the 50+1% on the other side.
All right.
So right now, if at all Raila goes his own way, Ruto goes his own way, then the potency of the One Kenya Alliance is such that it may deny the 50+1%. But without these two political key leaders pulling in separate directions, then the potency of One Kenya Alliance continues to be limited.
All right. Ishmael, the deputy president says that him and the ODM leader are the only national, or are the only people leading national outfits. He has condemned the One Kenya Alliance to a group of regional parties. That's what he says. What do you think about this?
Well, no, I don't think that's accurate. But first, I commend the deputy president for issuing what can be considered as a national, statement, saying much as there has been too much a pull and push between him and the former prime minister, they can still work together. That is very good. After all, in 2018, there was a handshake between two arch rivals. So I think he has really put the Kenyan map in the correct place in terms of democratic rights and understanding governance and development. But in terms of him likening the coastal region coming together and taking forth Kenya and taking KANU to group together as political as tribal outfits, I think that is not correct. The true position is that we have discovered in the history of this country that if you want to be on the national table to share in the national cake, you must come with a block of votes. You must be seen to be powerful. You must be having numbers.
From a certain region. From your region?
From your particular
from your
region,
tribe.
Yes. Even if you have to be appointed or given something or a responsibility at the national table, right, you must be, who are you? I mean, are you representing your people from where you come from? So you can never really do away with this concept of every region needs to feel represented. But it should not stop there. The fact is, if you are in the coast or you're in Rift Valley or you are in wherever, you should be able to work with the rest of Kenya. And that's why the Political Parties Act is clear. You cannot just form a party representing the Kalenjin and stop it at that. Your party must have the national outlook. So I think that coastal region alliance is not necessarily bad. And we have gone so fast to assume that alliance is actually going to work against Raila Odinga and the NASA. And we are not there yet. I think the coastal region people have seen that so that we are not just poached by maybe Raila Odinga or Uhuru Kenyatta, we need to come together. Baringo, I mean, you talk about KANU. This one, I don't want to comment about it so much because really I don't think I understand what's going on. I mean, the Honorable Gideon Moi will have to convince these other political partners why he cannot exactly convince about 40 or so, 30, 40 MCAs. I mean, you need to convince them. And you saw that that's the only region of the big guys, that's the only region where they said, no, we do not want BPI. So those are some of the things. When you come to the national table, people look at you in terms of what do you have?
Okay.
If you just come like Makwere now, he's a very popular person in the coastal region, but I mean,
that is what they are calling tribal outfits.
No, you can, no. If they are going to say, like Joho, if Joho says, I want to be president with a party called Mashinani Party, and it's only in the coastal region, then that's a political outfit. But saying that we want Kingi and Joho and Mvurya to come together to represent their people, and they decide that we will go under UDA, which is already established. There is nothing wrong with that.
All right, Dismas. Prior to this, all this talk, there was a meeting by the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, with the 3 coast governors, Mvurya of Kwale and Hassan Ali Joho of Mombasa and Kilifi's Amason Kingi. And some pundits are saying that is meant to isolate Raila Odinga, like Ishmael is alluding to here, saying that's incorrect. That is meant because the coast has been a stronghold of Raila Odinga, that they're trying to, pull him back to his own backyard. And the same is being done to the deputy president, isolating the 2 of them. Do you think that they are overstretching this?
Well, when you have politicians having a meeting, even if it's the chairman of the local cattle lip in my village, then you must begin to see a pattern. It's not a normal occurrence for President Kenyatta to have a meeting with the coastal governors, and the only thing you are given are photos. We were not told whether or not they were meeting to discuss COVID management, or maybe that's the reason why there is no lockdown in coast. They got word and they were able to nip it in the bud. But in my view, wherever the president meets with anybody, there must be a political implication. And in my view, what the president wants to do, he wants to be ensure that all these people we've been saying that it's going to be a lame duck president in the next few days actually feel the weight of his political capital. And in answering your question, we must go back to what we've always been discussing, this thing about toxic politics, whereby some 2 politicians in Kenya are peddling, fake news, alternative facts, lies, and deceits. For instance, when you claim that the only time you can be recognized as a national party is when you field candidates anywhere, then why don't you go the next step and tell us how come, if you're claiming to have a national party, you field candidates everywhere, but you've not won a seat. So then how are you a national party everywhere if you're not able to win seats? Because one would imagine if indeed the so-called UDA is a national party, they would have won Matungu, Kabushai, and Machakos. They did not win. Now, when you look at this One Alliance, which claims to be made up of village political parties, if you put Ford Kenya on the Kenyan map, they've got MPs from, rather elected leaders from literally everywhere. You put KANU has even got a senator and they've got a governor. You put Amani National Congress everywhere. So when you put those 3 political parties together, or actually 4 political parties, you get to see the face of Kenya. Now,
there are some who say that Ford Kenya is a Bungoma political party and Wiper. Well, Wiper is better because it's a parliamentary party. There are those who say ANC is a party for Kakamega and Vihiga. What do you say to that?
Let's disabuse those. Well. Let's disabuse them of those notions. My MP, I'm a Kisii man. My MP is a Ford Kenya MP, the Honorable Richard Onyonka.
To churches.
Yeah, in fact, Kisii has got 2 Ford Kenya MPs.
All right.
Now, Amani National Congress, people claim that it's a Luhya party. They've got the Honorable Tandaza from the coast. So
Nyamira governor.
The Nyamira governor is an ANC right. member. So the people are claiming that these are village political parties. Are guys who are actually sensing defeat. And in Kenya, if you are going to adopt utopian politics, then you can tell us, I'm going to run by saying, I'm going to be a social democrat, or I'm going to be a liberal, I'm going to be a libertarian. The reality in Kenya is, if you want to go to the national table, you go consolidate your ground, you put them in one basket, and then as if they're in your wallet, you come to Nairobi and negotiate. Right. That is how William Samoei Ruto is able to negotiate in Kenya, because he says Rift Valley is under key and lock. And these people who are scheming around have told him, if indeed you claim to be a national politician, come and win in Matungu, right. come and win in any other constituency. But now looking at the same William Samoei Ruto, who said these are village political parties, from the time he took office, he's been now the deputy president of Kenya for 8 years, and longer in the public sector. When you look at his pattern of appointments to, key positions in the cabinet and public servants, do you actually see the face of Kenya, or do you see people from his village? When you look at the people hung around him, do you see the face of Kenya? A few of them are beginning to run away. You saw what Didmus Barasa has done, saying he's taking a sabbatical. So let's call a spade and call out people for their mischief.
Let's hear from Hesbon and Mark. Let me begin with you, Hesbon. Two questions very quickly. Is Raila Odinga being duped? We did speak to the ODM chairman, John Badi, on KTN News last week, and he said that Raila Odinga was aware of that meeting at State House, Nairobi. Do you think the ODM party leader is being duped here? And number two, does the One Kenya Alliance have national profile?
Well, I think to start with the meeting at State House, it is just possible that people will read a lot into the president's meeting, two governors who've been ODM stalwarts, for like the last 15 or so years. And people would read so much and ask themselves, why is it that now they have direct access to the president and not through the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga? But from what I understand politics to be, politics is about interests. And I think what President Kenyatta has consistently done is to bring all political leaders to a national conversation that would unite this country. And I think because they are doing this with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga,
that UDA has not proven that it is on its way to becoming a national political party, because it has lost almost every of the by-election, apart from the London ward.
I think what Dismas is forgetting is that UDA is just a vehicle that is trying to penetrate areas where it has not existed before. And if you divorce UDA from the deputy president, there won't be any UDA. So we are not even talking about UDA. We are talking about the stature of the person of the deputy president and Raila Odinga. Now, the reason why these two individuals can consolidate their regions and have a larger negotiating power as principals is simply because they have support that transcends regions. And this support, Kenyans need to understand, is not built by being a political party leader. No way. This support is built over time. If you go to any region in this country and ask them, do they know Raila Amolo Odinga? They'll tell you they know Raila Amolo Odinga, not just because of the name, but because of certain fundamental things that Raila has done for this country. And it is the same thing with William Ruto. They know William Ruto in Luo Nyanza, where I come from, because of certain things that he has done and he has stood for. Key among them is how he stood against political injustice in 2007. And he was a stalwart of ODM. So there are people who still remember him for that. But ask yourself, do they remember Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? Yes, they do remember him as a vice president with a very interesting track record. But they'll also remember that at some point, he betrayed one of their own. They'll also remember that at some point, he made it clear, that they were going to have Raila sworn in. But later on, he came up with statements. He's a senior counsel and all that. They also remember Musalia Mudavadi, but they don't remember him as someone who has endeared himself to them, so much so that he can pull votes from them. And I think the critical question for One Kenya Alliance is this. Once they come together, the four of them, consolidate their regions, what next? And I think that is a conversation that we need to ask ourselves. What are they selling beyond coming together? And lastly, I think if that pushes Raila Odinga and William Ruto into a political alliance, Kenyans should also be critical. Is it an alliance of convenience because they have nowhere to go? Or do they have something substantive that resonates with the interest of majority Kenyans?
Okay, let's hear from Mark on this. Mark, Raila Odinga was said to be eyeing the last, or having the last bullet in the 2017 election, but we understand he's keen to have another stab at the presidency. The final bullet this time, we are told. Deputy president has been deputy president for 2 terms. If these two are to get into a political alliance that will culminate into a presidential ticket, who would be the presidential candidate and who would be the running mates, in your opinion?
Ben, thanks for the question. To answer you legally, the Deputy President, William Ruto, cannot be Deputy President again, which means he can only be President or Prime Minister. So the question really here, and that's why I do not want to spend much time on this speculation, is whether Raila Odinga would agree to be William Ruto's deputy or William Ruto's Prime Minister, really. Those are the questions that are there. And I highly doubt that situation or scenario is possible. However, I would just like to just remind Kenyans how critical it is for us not to take politicians seriously. This is because I remember that William Ruto was categorical that the only coalition partner he needs is God himself. Everyone else can be on his payroll, and he has God and the people, he said. The rest, he called them Walevi, Wabutabangi, na Wachawi. And to see him turn around is a big, big lesson for our country. And I would just like to quote one philosopher who comes from Wasingishu by the name of Mandako, who said, siasa unaishikilia kwa mapafu si kwa moyo, uweze kuipumua haraka itoke. And this is very, very important for the Kenyan people, that we cannot take the political stances of these politicians seriously. And that then brings me to the One Kenya Alliance. Just hardly a month ago, there was a lot of furor about how they were reacting to Raila Odinga. In fact, Wetangula had said that the NASA divorce would be messy, loud, and unpalatable. The NASA coalition, by the way, has not been dissolved by the One Kenya coalition, and that tells you that politicians coalesce for the purpose of getting power. It is not a coalition of ideologies, and you need to realize that the people in the One Kenya Alliance realized pretty quickly, and good for them that they realized that their fortunes within their own tribal cocoons were being shaken. You know, Mudhama and other governors were giving Kalonzo a run for his money. Wetangula had seen his party almost split and ripped away from him. You've got Gideon Moi, who was licking his wounds after a trouncing at the Baringo County, which voted no. So this is a coalition of people who are trying to reinvent themselves politically. It is a genius move, if you ask me, because here we are discussing them. They are giving themselves relevance. You go to Joho and Kingi on the other side of the coast. These are two-term governors. This is not about the people of coast and them being represented, because it is not as if they will not have governors after them and they will not have MPs after them. It is simply they are asking themselves that there really are about 3 other positions they can go for, which is Prime Minister will continue, and it will be a dance. And tomorrow, Ruto will say he's willing to work with Wetangula, and he'll say he's willing to Mudavadi or One Kenya. So this is expected, Ben.
Enough said. 30 seconds, Javas. One Kenya Alliance, Ruto, Raila Odinga Alliance prospected. Which one is more likely to last the journey to 2022?
Well, I would say that if we are to look at individuals who are trying to join the marathon, yet they're only known for steeplechase and 100 meters run or sprint, it may be difficult for them to try and make for the 24-hour lap, for the long race.
Right.
When you look at it that way, of course, Honorable Gideon Moi has never run a presidential race. Musalia has done so, and so has Kalonzo Musyoka. Wetangula has not run a presidential campaign. Mm-hmm. So looking at it that way, you realize that Raila Odinga can outlast any of them. William Ruto has got what it takes to run, and given that he has been behind the two presidential campaigns, they're able to.
I think that the One Kenya Alliance will actually be bought over by the National Super Alliance. That is without a doubt. I mean, any of those people in the One Kenya Alliance will be more than willing to be invited to the National Super Alliance. I think that the former Prime Minister has not started his campaigns proper, and if he starts that, we will see him winning over his side.
This month, the One Kenya Alliance is the 5 positions are taken care of in the BBI. What is your prediction?
In my view, the One Kenya Alliance is something that persons who are engaged in motivated reasoning will wish away. Because when you look at what they bring on the table, they are very solid. And Javas forgot to mention that the deputy president has also not run for a presidential election as a candidate. He's only run as a running mate. So we are not even sure that people in his village, in Uasin Gishu, will in fact vote for him.
All right. You could go for the Prime Minister position if the BBI passes. All right. Let's take a quick commercial break. We're coming back with more here on Inside Politics.